In this video, we are creating an eczema relief butter, but we're adding a little twist to it. Instead of using the regular old shea butter by itself or any of those butters, we're going to go ahead and test this formula out with kokum butter. I've used kokum butter on my skin a lot, and trust me, it makes the butter so creamy, so nice. Like the texture of it on your skin mixed with the shea butter and the combination of essential oil helps to relieve, dry, flaky skin or any irritation from eczema, and it is also not very heavy on your skin. So it would be a good butter to use during the summertime. So let's begin. The first thing we're going to go ahead and begin with is our oil phase. My oil phase does have like two sections: the oil part of it, which is the carrier oil section, and the butters part. I'm beginning with the butters. So the first butter that I am adding in, as you can see here, is my kokum butter. You see it's nice, it has that pure white texture. Kokum butter adds very powerful moisturizing properties to the mixture. It is also the butter of choice when you want to create a body butter that doesn't have that heavy layer on top of the skin but still has the high moisturizing properties. The next butter we're going to use is a butter that doesn't need any introduction, some shea butter. This butter we're going to combine with our coconut butter inside our beaker, which I'm going to use this beaker to actually melt down our product so we can incorporate the other ingredients. Now that we've combined the raw butters in one beaker, I am now going to take this beaker and take it to my melting area so that way I'm able to melt the ingredients. And once they're melted, that's when I would go ahead and add in my carrier oils. The melting process helps to combine the ingredients together so that when at the end, when we add the other ingredients, we can add everything in and blend it in well. Now that my butters are melted, I'm going to go ahead and use my stirring rod and mix it around a little bit. I'm also going to go ahead and add in my carrier oils. So I have already combined my carrier oils in a separate beaker, and I'm going to pour them into this larger beaker to combine all of my oils and butters together and use my stirring rod to stir it. The carrier oil that I'm using in this mixture is jojoba oil and a little bit of refined avocado oil. I'm using jojoba oil because jojoba oil is really great for the skin, very subtle on the skin. It is also the closest oil that resembles the skin sebum, so therefore it doesn't feel too oily on the skin. I opt to add this into the body butter mixture, and knowing that when you have eczema, your skin kind of itchy and flaky and dry, this is the best thing to add in to combat that type of irritation. The next is refined avocado oil. I opt for refined avocado oil because it is also really moisturizing. Like I always speak about avocado oil because of how moisturizing it is. It can be a bit of a heavier oil, but in this mixture with everything combined, it doesn't feel that heavy, and at the percentage that it was used, it didn't come off as a heavy oil or anything like that. Now that everything is incorporated and melted, it is time for the next phase, is where I'm going to go ahead and start the cool down phase. I'm going to go and put this mixture inside of the freezer for about 30 to 45 minutes to get it nice and solid. Either 30 to 45 minutes, or I wait until the corners, around the product has solidified and there's a little film to be formed at the top. I'm going to show you a picture of it in the next clip. Now that the product is getting cool, it's solidifying in the freezer, I'm going to go ahead and basically weigh out my essential oils and mix them together along with my vitamin E oil and stir them together, kind of get them incorporated before I am ready to add them to the mixture instead of just doing them one by one. This makes it so much easier and it's so much more convenient. This essential oil blend is a combination of lavender essential oil, tea tree essential oil, and carrot seed essential oil. This is a mixture that I used in my eczema butters before and it works really well. And then I also added in vitamin E oil. Now that our product or combination is solid, a bit solid, this is how it will look. So it's not like 100% solid, it's not completely solid. It's just that around it, the film around the perimeters, that is solid, and it has a little film on top that I mentioned earlier. So that's how I want it to look, because this way I know that it's not too hard, it's not too soft. And once I add in my essential oil and my colloidal oatmeal, I can mix it and keep mixing it until I get that desired result of that creamy whipped body butter that I'm going for. Now that that is completed, we're going to go ahead and add in our essential oil that we previously blended together. This is a blend of essential oil plus vitamin E oil. We're going to go ahead, pour that into our beaker, and then use our hand mixer to blend it completely, to completely whip it up. So that means whipped. Make sure you get everything, get the sides. So in this mixture, I also added my remainder of my colloidal oatmeal that I put aside earlier. The colloidal oatmeal is great in this eczema blend because it adds in a skin softening property and it helps to soothe itchy skin. It is also anti-inflammatory. It is great for people who have dry skin because it helps to balance your skin's natural pH levels. So colloidal oatmeal is one of my go-to ingredients when I'm looking for something for irritated skin or eczema overall. Another tip I want to give you guys is that sometimes when you're mixing the bun, you're whipping up the body butter, like if you step away for like a minute or so, it can like solidify really quick. For example, this that I'm like pushing down and whipping all over again. I literally walked away for like a minute to grab something and came back and it starts solidifying already. So now I have to put a lot of pressure on the hand mixer to smoothen it up again. It was taking a bit of work, so I had to opt for my other whisk. I only had one in there, so I ended up adding the two of them, and the two of them did an amazing job of whipping it up and giving it that nice creamy texture. Also, when you're mixing, you want to make sure that you get all the excess product off of the sides of the jar and the bottom of the jar, so that way when you're whipping up, no product is wasting and you're getting everything in. I'll continue whipping the mixture for a good 10-15 minutes because there's a certain texture that I was going for. I wanted it to be a nice fluffy texture, and I noticed I'm able to get that fluffy texture, especially when I use kokum butter. I get that nice fluffy texture when I mix it for a period of time. Just sit there and mix it and make sure it's soft. Be careful, you can't do this with any butter, and you cannot do it with butters like hard butters that have like a high percentage. For example, if you did this with kokum butter at a higher percentage, you might whip it and it might get hard on you. So, you have to be careful with the percentages that you're using. But for this mixture, I was able to whip it because it wasn't too much hard butters. So it wouldn't make the product solidify to the point that I wasn't able to whip it again, right? So I kept whipping it until I got that nice creamy texture that I was going for. Okay, so I took the camera off because I noticed that the light was reflected on the previous clip, so I wanted to show you exactly how the texture looked without that bright glare. So this is the texture of the butter. This is the texture that I was going for. It is perfect, it is smooth, it has a nice little creamy texture going for it, a bit fluffy even when I poured it out. So it's nice and it came out exactly as how I planned. That's exactly what I wanted from it. Now that we've completed whipping our butter to the desired texture that I wanted, now we're going to get our jar. This is a mason jar. I bought them, I think they're 8-ounce, wide mouth jars from Walmart. That's where I got these jars. One day I bought these a long time ago from Walmart. I think it was like 6 or 8 of them that come in the package, and I bought these for my DIYs at home. So it's just whatever container you have, you can get that and use that. If I can find this on Amazon or even Walmart, I'll link it below for you if you'd like that. And that's where I'm going to go ahead and pour in my whipped body butter. The texture that it have is a texture that will allow me to kind of pour it in a little bit, and even if I can't pour it in, it won't be too difficult to scoop out into the jar. If you have a piping bag, you can use a piping bag. I choose not to use a piping bag because sometimes I feel like using a piping bag is so wasteful. Like there's a whole bunch of product left inside it, and I don't like that. So I, squeeze it out. I scoop it out to the best of my abilities and then, use it. So this formula is a 8.5 ounce formula, which is 241 grams. I made it that amount because I didn't want to make too much or, an excess amount. However, when you whip this butter to for the amount of time that I whipped it, it gets a lot of air inside of it to create that nice fluffy texture. As a result, the volume of the butter that was created was doubled. So instead of me just having 8.5, I think it went to at least 10 ounces or a little over 10 ounces, because of how much air is inside of it and because I wanted to create that fluffy texture. And as a result, because it has that fluffy texture, when you put it on your skin, it is not as heavy, right? So it gives it that nice thin layer but still gets the job done. And this is why I like this type of butter for the summertime, especially if you have dry skin. Like, this is good in the summertime. You have the dry skin, you don't want too much butter, you don't want it to be too heavy, so this will work great for that. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more tutorials and more videos from me, you can definitely check out one of my body butter workshop playlists or one of my next videos. If you didn't already know, I sell digital downloads for handmade skincare business owners, from thank you cards to different icons for your Instagram pages. I also offer a pick my brain session if you're interested in that. If you're interested, definitely click the link below where you could purchase these items.